how solar panels work. They sit quiet.
So welcome everyone, day one to the Sun Power Solar Science Academy. And I'm glad that you're here. I know that you heard a little bit about what it is and what to expect, because this morning we're going to talk a little bit more about that and a little details. And introduce you to all these people. Right now we have this great ratio where there are maybe more adults than students. So you can imagine we are here to serve you and hopefully make it fun and you'll learn a lot and enjoy. So, okay, Sean is not going to hide.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I want to introduce Mr. Schekman, who all of you should know, maybe know, an important person in the district who makes this job and what you learn and who your teachers are and setting the standards that you succeed as assistant superintendent of secondary education. And I'm thrilled to have you here. You are welcome to kick off for our
Thank you so much. I am very excited to be here. I'm with students who want to be here. I'm with staff who want to be here. Everything works when we all want to be here. I didn't get to ask this question of every one of you, but I basically found out what school you're from and how you got here. Because you're not earning any credit. Everyone else in the district of your age probably still in bed. Some might be working, some might be getting up to go surfing or some other fun activity, but you're here learning. And I know it's going to be a fun way to learn. But what I'd like to do real quickly is just say your name and what school you're from and what grade you're in and where you hope to be after high school. So just your first name, what school you're from, what grade you're in, and where you hope to be after high school. Okay? You have the biggest smile, so I'll start with you.
So my name is Rolando, and I'm from Murry High School. I'm going to be a senior this year. And
Where do you think you'll be in a year from today? Which one? Which ones do you think about?
trying to do
UCSC? Wonderful. Great. Okay. I'll bet you'll go there. And I'll give you some statistics about our high schools and going to college, because I get to brag about it, even though I don't have much to do with it. Okay, now.
My name is Abigail. I'm from Watsonville High and I'm going to be a top grader. And next year, well, for the year, I'm probably going to be
Okay, which ones are you thinking about?
maybe moderate grade or
Okay.
silver grade.
Okay, excellent.
My name is Shane.
A little louder, please.
My name is Shane. I'm going to be in 11th grade. I go to Apple High School, and I have a control high school, specifically Cal.
Wonderful. Okay. So you got a little more time than these two guys, but he's shooting for college too.
I'm Alex. I'm going to be a 10th grader. I'm from Watsonville High School. And I hope to be after high school UCSC.
Okay. My alma mater. Alex is also at Watsonville High. If you don't know this, Watsonville High has 7 academies. Every student after the 9th grade picks an academy to go into. So he's getting a lot of good technology in his academy. Video. Right? Okay, thank you. How about up here?
My name is Crystal. I go to Watsonville. I'm going to be a 12th year also, and I hope to be in UC Davis.
Very clear, very specific.
My name is Hector. At the Renaissance, well, I'm 12th graders, and I see myself in here trying to career college and taking some science studies.
Okay, great.
My name is Marcos. I go to Cornell Valley High School, and I'm a senior. And after high school, I want to go to UC Berkeley.
What do you want to study at Cal?
Biology,
And who are you going to meet when you get to Cal? Dr. Randy Schekman. My brother is the biochem department chair at Cal. I used to be principal at Everett Alvarez High in Salinas. And we made a deal way back when. Any of my students who go to Cal and track him down just to meet him, he'll take you out to lunch. He won't give you any money, but he'll take you out to lunch. And it's a big college, and it's nice to have a friend, especially in that position. And I know several students from PV High who are there who've already met him. He's really great with young people, a really important resource. All right, your turn.
My name is George. I'm going to be a 12th grader, and well, I am a 12th grader, but I'm going to go, I went to Renaissance, but I'm transferring to Half House High,
Okay.
and I see myself in law enforcement.
Okay.
My
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jaylene. I'm going to be a junior at Aptos High. In 2 years from now, I hope to see myself at a four-year college, at UC, I'm not sure which one.
Well, she's wearing UCLA.
Hopefully.
And hopefully they'll have the floor fixed. They lost 20 million gallons
Oh,
of
yeah.
water. Well, I commend all of you, and I'm going to introduce the adults in about a minute or two. And some of them I'm just meeting for the first time today. But you young people, and not so young, well, you guys are pretty young too, are like the smartest people in town because of what you're doing this week. And I'm really grateful to the adults for what you're doing for our students. I did a little homework, but before I get into my homework, I want to give you guys some statistics. Our school district, and I now have the stats for 2013, but our school district, this is the percentage of students going to college out of our high schools. So Aptos, 84%, PD, 74%, Watsonville, 71%. That was the graduating class of 2012. The state average sucks, excuse my language. The state average is just a little above 55%. And that includes community colleges too. The national average is a little bit better. But when you look at these two schools have students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, meaning they have more of an economic need, and it's more than 75%. The national average is only 39%. So here are schools that have students, when they go home, most of the parents haven't gone to college. And that's a really important factor for students getting exposure to college. You guys are getting exposure, maybe through your parents, but you're getting exposure by being here this week and many other things that we've done. And I'm going to ask you to think about why it's good in our district. But I want to give you a little history of why we're here. In that, this year, the year 2012-13, we passed a $150 million bond in the school district. It was the largest bond in the county's history. And it was passed at a time where people were concerned about money because we were still in a recession, right? It was near the end of the recession, and now jobs have come back. We still need a little bit more, but it was really amazing. I worked hard on this bond. Students also worked hard. I don't want to single too many out, but PV, we couldn't have done it without PV. Why did PV students come to the plate and help us so much with this bond? Why do you think? Come on, let's go. I think we have some coffee being delivered. Fox. Oh, did you bring us all coffee, Fox? Oh, okay, later. Go ahead. Why do you think PV students help so much with the passing of our bond?
They're in school, they want to kind of step up and show what they're made of.
Exactly. And part of the new school, what is still needed in PV High? An athletic facility and a theater, and that's in the bond. We've got to deal with Coastal Commission, and we will get it passed. But PV students went door to door for months and months and months. Aptos and Watsonville helped also. Renaissance helped also. More on the phone bank. But I met hundreds of PV students who were very bright and very articulate and went door to door on behalf of the bond. And the two themes for this bond was safety and technology. And out of the technology part of the bond, we're building solar. We're building it at 7 schools. You can see it already working at Hall District School. If you're a student at Aptos High, hopefully you'll be able to park on day one, but right now we have your parking lot completely shut off because your company is working there and going to install solar, right? And I won't put you on the spot, but we sure hope the parking lot, we don't think the solar panels will be ready on day one, but go ahead, I'll hear from students and parents if that parking lot is open.
I'll see the project manager tomorrow.
I actually get in touch. And the message back to me is, lighten up, Schekman. Parking will be fine. So you'll be able to park, but the panels won't be there. Watsonville High, the student parking lot is also all shut off, but it's not as big of a problem. The students there can park on the street and maybe have to walk a little further. But the delight for me, not just saving money, not just being ecologically sound, the delight for me at Watsonville High is that parking lot has been unsafe. There have been problems in that parking lot. In that parking lot, we have temporary lighting there now. But when the solar panels are in, it's going to light up an incredible large plot of land, and it'll be very safe. Because Watsonville High has many events late on a Friday night, late on a Saturday night, and sometimes those events are visited by students who are still, or young people, or old people who are still developing. Let me do some introductions here. We have a number of people, as I said, I haven't met until this morning, but one person I've worked with for a long time, and now she's bashful, she's not even here. Show Coppin, she's on the phone, probably haranguing the students who haven't showed up yet. She's good at that. I worked with Show way back when at EA Hall. She was a science teacher with our middle school, and she's been at Renaissance for I think about 10 years. Kyla, where's Kyla? Kyla is a teacher at Pajaro Valley High School, and this is your second year, Kyla?
Second year there, and it'll be my fourth year teaching.
Okay. Let me pick on the PV folks a little bit, just a little bit, and then I'll do some more introduction. Why do you think PV, look at that number there, that's awesome. And I'm going to go into these numbers in a minute too. Why do you think PV is doing so well in getting kids into college? And that includes Cabrillo too. We send piles of students from our district to Cabrillo. Why do you think PV though? I used to be principal at Wattsville High, now I love all the high schools. When Aptos and Wattsville play, I want a tie. Yeah, sure. When PV and Wattsville play, I want a tie. I really do in that school. But I was principal at Wattsville High, my kids all went through Wattsville, so I still got a little black and gold. So look at that, PV passed Wattsville up. Why do you think, folks? Why do you think PV is doing well in getting kids into college? Go ahead.
Shot in the dark, maybe because they're smaller.
That's probably part of it. You're right, they are small. They're about the same size as Aptos. Wattsville is close to 2,000. PV is about 1,350. What else? Here's a little hint. Where is that school built?
Right in the sun.
Right in the sun, okay.
No, not that.
It's
What is on the other side of the freeway? The west side of Highway 1. The slough, wetlands. When PV was built, it was very controversial. There were other lots or other pieces of land that the district looked at, but nobody seemed to say, we want you. We were, I thought a better place to build is where the district office is, kind of category. They're a little bit out of town. But neighbors, farmers, no, we don't want you there. So we built it where we built it. I was an employee in a different district and watched with interest because I lived in this town. But we built it there and we made a commitment to this community that the WATCH program, which some of you I know I met, are part of, and the wetlands research that is done on that campus and with partners is really helpful because those jobs, when you study environmental science or you take an interest in it, those jobs require more education than just a high school diploma. Most of the jobs in environmental science require a 4-year degree. And so PV, I have this theory that because of that commitment, another part of my theory is that because sports is still developing there, because we haven't finished that high school, there isn't as much to do. So the clubs on that campus are actually pretty academic. All right, let me do some other introductions. We met our two teachers. Scott is our lead teacher. You teach at California High School.
It's up in San Ramon, which is east of Oakland.
Okay, and how do you get this job?
Well, about 5 years ago, I was pushing along with some students in my high school, the district where I'm from, which is San Ramon Unified School District, about why I think we should have gotten to the point of putting in solar. And we finally did. And after that point, I got to meet a person involved with Sun Power named Bobby Graham. And he and I started this idea of this academy program with 20 students from my school district 4 years ago. And now I get to work with Ms. Solari, and it's exciting for me. It's the third one I'll have done this summer. And it's like a vacation, working with young people, the passion that I see from the students I work with. I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you drive up back home at night, or do you get
I'm staying with some friends in Santa Cruz, so it really is a vacation coming down.
Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Can I ask also then, is my theory about the jobs that are required leading to college, the students you've had for the last few years from your high school, are most of them in college?
About the same percentage,
Okay.
70 is 75%. I'm actually a history teacher, but I love doing business.
Okay, thanks a bunch. We also have two folks who work at Cabrillo, and they're assistants in classes, and they know this facility very well. We have Steve Harden over there, and we have Jared Genovese. Did I pronounce the last name okay?
Genovese?
Genovese, okay. And they know the facility well, and again, I'm just meeting them, but they seem like really nice gentlemen. There's a company called Vital Link, which I guess connects the dots for You know, here's a company called Sun Power, and then here's a bunch of students. And so, do I have it correct that Vital Link kind of develops a curriculum and connects the dots to put the right people in the right place? So we have Mary Tron right over there, and we have Lindsay
Ropchak.
Ropchak. Boy, I really was going to blow that one. We have Mary and Lindsay. Okay, and Mary was my contact, gave me incredibly good info, just one paragraph of all that you're going to do this week and the actual software that you're going to learn. And I wish I could stay and learn it too. And then from Sun Power, we have Renee. I'm shocked. I'm going to pronounce her name correct. Her last name is Solari. Did you change your name to be part of the company?
I was born to be in silver.
I guess so. I guess so. So Renee is actually with the company that our district hired to install solar. And again, that company was picked hopefully because they're the best at what they do and they give us a reasonable price. But we built the instructional technology component into it, which is unprecedented. I know another district down the road that has nice solar panels. They work with a different company, and there's nothing to do with instruction. They're saving money on electricity, but it has nothing to do with what you guys get to do and what you guys get to learn.
You're special.
You are special. You are special, and you're smart. Just for being here, you're smart. Really, I really mean that. You are, you know. I'll tell you a quick story. When I ran a continuation school in Salinas, I was early in my career there, and I was learning about alternative ed. And I had a band come and play at lunch. And these girls were tapping their feet like they were going to get up and dance. So I said, why don't you get up and dance? And the girl said to me, how many credits will we earn? You're not asking that. I actually asked her teachers, are the students earning credits? And with the 40 hours, and I shouldn't even go there. You don't need it. You guys are probably all doing just fine with your credits. You're not falling behind. But you're here because of a passion, I suspect, for learning. And you're smart because the jobs in solar, I'm going to tell you a little about. I did a little, go ahead.
I said they're getting big, a lot of jobs.
Humongous. Actually, there's a company here in Santa Cruz County that has hired Watsonville, Pajaro Valley students. Altera Solar, they reached out to me last year. We have a program where students can go through a quick bit of paperwork, and your teacher signs off on it that says you have a 2.0 or better, which I guarantee all of you do because of who you are. I'm going to leave this article. It's 18 pages. It's careers in solar, very specific. And the learning for me, when I read it a couple nights ago, wasn't just about the jobs directly impacted with solar. Not just the guys who are up on a roof installing panels, but the impact outside of the solar industry to support solar, including transportation. You know, panels are made, a lot are now made in this country, but they still have to get to someplace. They have to be managed. And so there's just a humongous number of jobs coming. And I'm just going to leave it. Your teachers can have you look at it, or I can get the website to them. It's all online. But I do want to read to you about STEM jobs. And that's why I'm glad we have this filming going on. I actually brought a camera. I wanted to film this discussion because this district does a lot for STEM. And we truly believe that whatever it is, science, technology, engineering, and math, that if you grab onto one of them, you're going to have more fun and you're going to get a better job. Because jobs are still hard to deal with, but not for this group here. I guarantee you, if I were to follow your careers, that'd probably be a good idea because you're going to make a good living and maybe you'll remember this conversation and you'll harken back. I got into UCLA because of my time with that guy in solar energy. I think I'm going to buy him a convertible because he can't afford it. All right, I'm going to read to you real quickly and then I want to give you some other stats from our district. Science, technology, engineering, and math workers drive our nation's innovation and competitiveness by generating new ideas, new companies, and new industries. However, U.S. businesses frequently voice concerns over the supply and availability of STEM workers. Over the past 10 years, growth in STEM jobs was 3 times as fast as growth in non-STEM jobs. STEM workers are also likely to experience joblessness, less likely to experience joblessness than their non-STEM counterparts. Science, technology, engineering, and math workers play a key role in the sustained growth and stability of the U.S. economy and are now a critical component to helping the U.S. win the future. In 2010, there were 7.6 million STEM workers, about 1 in 18, and it's projected to grow by almost 20% in the next 3 years. STEM workers command higher wages, earning 26% more than their non-STEM counterparts, and more than two-thirds of STEM workers have at least a college degree compared to less than 1/3. STEM degree holders enjoy higher savings regardless of whether they work in STEM or not. So you are the smartest ones in this town for this whole week, and I commend you for your curiosity. Each of you let me know as I went around and introduced myself and got your name, that a teacher in your life told you about the program and probably inspired you to be here. And I appreciate our teachers in this district, and here's one of the reasons why. What is it? What are these requirements? A to G. What does that mean? Students, what does that mean? A to G requirements.
University requirements.
Correct. You have to take A to G classes. For example, a D science class is the class that you take that meets the UC requirement either in physical or in life science. You have to have a lab. So A to G requirements are just what you said. CSU and UC requirements. The state of California, when they look at our graduates and we assess how many of our graduates completed A to G requirements, it's even worse than what I said earlier about high schools, graduates getting into college, and I'm going to use that same word. We suck. In the state of California, it's 39%. So think about that. 61% of college grads can start at a community college, which is a wonderful way to start. It's an excellent way to start. Save your parents money, you have the same kind of rigor. But look at our district. I actually, this is all online, I'm not making this up, and I'm actually contributing something to an article in the paper about this. So Aptos High, 80%. Pajaro Valley High, 64%. Watsonville, 54%. I'll have to have a conversation with Ms. Lecoretta. She should be exactly at the same level that PV's at. I'm not sure why. But it's nonetheless, as a district, we are doing very well of having our students enrolled in completing A to G. I'm going to brag about PV a little bit. Aptos High, the principal of Aptos High, Mr. O'Brien, is a very competitive principal. He loves his students, but he's really, and it's a good but, he's so competitive. One time he was in a tricycle race. I don't know if you've heard about this, but they do a lot of fun things in all of our high schools. So you ride tricycles as the principal, you race against students. So we have him on film pushing high school students off the course so he couldn't win. His students. He's very respected by his students. So when I gave him this data, his first question to me was, well, what about Scotts Valley High? That's who he competes with internally, academically. So Scotts Valley High was lower than PV here at 62%. So Casey O'Brien's quote to me in his email was, thanks, Mr. Schekman, we smoked it. So he takes great pride in that. But I'm telling you, I take great pride in all of these. 64% higher than Scotts Valley. Tell me why that's happening in PV. How does that happen? PV students, obviously I need to lean on you a little bit for this. How does that happen? I'm going to guarantee everybody in this room is completing A to G requirements. So tell me how that happens. What do you think?
I think it's just inspiration, I guess, because since we're low income.
Okay, inspiration. Okay, and I give your parents a lot of that credit. Here's what happened I was principal at Watsonville High up to about 4 years ago. Here's what happens which keeps kids from completing A to G requirements. You get to your junior year, or sometimes in your sophomore year, and this class called Algebra 2 Trig is in the way. Not in the way, it's something that's required. Usually you're a junior. So I had too many students, and their parents said it was okay, come to their counselor and say, I'm done. I'm done with all that hard stuff. I want to have a little bit of a relaxing year in my junior year. So I'll take consumer math. And consumer math doesn't meet those requirements. So for 2 years, students probably have to meet the A to G requirements, but the minute you get into a consumer math class, you've closed the door to a 4-year college. You understand why? It's not a requirement. It's not a rigorous class. And the best thing I can tell you guys You don't need to earn credits. The kind of hands-on work that you're going to do this week, and these guys know much more about it than I know, will give you more rigor when you go back to that math class with a better understanding. And the final story is a graduate of Watsonville High who happens to be my son. Oh, thanks. Jacob Schekman is a senior at San Jose State, majoring in chemistry. He's kicking butt. He's doing very well, got some scholarships, saving some money, and he got turned on to chemistry at Watsonville High as a junior there with Miss Herradura. Took top-level math classes, got into Calculus BC, the highest math class that you can take in any high school. Did very well. He was good in math. Then he went off to San Jose State for his 4 years. Excuse me. And he failed Calculus 3. So here I was paying tuition, looking at a report card. How did you fail Calculus 3? He said, Dad, I wasn't ready. And he didn't understand yet why he wasn't ready. He had one of the best teachers in my life, and Vivian, who taught him. And I went back to her and asked her, well, what do you think? And we're still not really sure, although now I have enough data. The high-level math classes that we offer, the high-level math tests that students used to take through the STAR test, and those tests are gone now. There was, the highest level test was called summative math. And we as a district still do poorly in those high-level math classes. So 2 years later, Jacob's continuing to study chemistry, doing very well in chemistry, has to take that Calc 3 class again. So he takes it again his junior year and he gets an A in it. And it's a very simple difference that he explains to me. And I kind of had an idea. I said, Dad, I learned the math through the chemistry because I applied it. Because I applied it. And so often, we in our classes, and I'm not these two science teachers, go through a book and don't apply it. We go through the book, there's labs there, you do the lab, but we don't apply it. I had the privilege of having the first construction tech class offered in this district. Half the students are taking geometry one day, and they're building the next day. It actually looks like the room right next to us where they're building stuff. Those students learn geometry a hell of a lot better than the students in other classes that weren't applying the concepts of geometry. So enjoy your week, you guys. You're not here because of the granola bars. You're here really for the best. Well, you are a little bit of granola bars. Okay, a little bit. Well, we've got veteran adults who know how to take care of it. But I really mean this, you guys. You'll have a wonderful week. What you may not anticipate is that you'll be smarter in those math and science classes, and you will do better. And I'll come back on Friday just to check in with you, see how's it going, make sure that there's enough granola bars throughout the week. I commend you, your parents, maybe an older brother or sister who got you involved with this, and I thank the adults for being here too. So that's my message for you today. I welcome you, and I believe I turn it over to the lady who's last name is Solari. Right?